Hi everyone and welcome to our video today. I'm Jodi, the very tired CEO of Prolong Lash, sitting here with my beautiful friend.
Hello, Alicia Phoenix, the head of marketing at Prolong. Why are you feeling tired today?
I have been an Olympic marathon runner. I have been watching Olympics flat out with my son and my daughter, who are all very sporty. So we are addicted to the Olympics at the moment. So I'm guilty of a few 4 a.m. finishes.
No.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what happens when you're down under, because we don't get good times of day to watch things. You have to watch them in the middle of the night, don't you?
Yeah, we do. So I'm going to be a little bit quieter today. You can't see the bags under my eyes because I've used nice makeup. But today we are talking about something very exciting that Alicia is very passionate about. So I'm going to let Alicia do most of the talking today. So please don't think it's just because of the Olympics. It's also because I've never actually been a lash artist. So I can't talk much about the tech side of things, but Alicia is a legend.
My time to shine.
It is. Here we go.
So yeah, let's talk about all the amazing supplies you need in your kit as a lash artist. Now, first and foremost, your tweezers. Kerry, our founder, always called your tweezers the extension of your hands. They're connected to your hands at all times while you're doing lashes. So getting good quality tweezers is my number one recommendation. It's so important to have good quality tweezers, and it's important to have cup tweezers as well. I know tweezers, good quality ones, can cost you $50, $80 a pop, but they are the number one tool to get your fans perfect if you're making Russian volume, to get that separation really clean and isolation really clean. So you need sharp and good quality tools and tweezers to be able to do that. So
I remember when I first come to Prolong, and as I said, I'm not a lash artist. We used to have tech. We used to sell tech originally, which we don't sell anymore, but we used to have tweezers all over a table, and Alicia would test every single tweezer before they went out to our customers.
But
and
we never sell that tweezer.
Look, and that's when I said we're not going to sell tech anymore.
It did take me a long time to test every single tweezer, but you know, a tweezer has to be perfect, and if it's slightly wonky, or even if you bought it fantastic, perfect new, and you've then dropped it on the floor and it's slightly bent or something, it's ruined. You need a perfect tweezer to get perfect isolation and to be easily picking up fans. If they don't grip well, they can slip. A lot of people have problems making Russian volume fans when they first start because the tweezer isn't right. So it is really important to have a good quality and tested tweezer. If you can find a supplier that hand tests, it's a good place to start.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
Very silly. Probably for everyone out there, it's probably not a silly question either. Do you have to have a tweezer, a different tweezer for every style of lash you do?
Not necessarily. So I think the standard or more common shapes would be that if you're using an isolation tweezer, so you're finding that natural lash that you're going to stick your extension onto, a straight tweezer or an angled tweezer would be the way to go for that. And I think that would be pretty common for most people. Some people use a curved tweezer as well. And then if you're doing a classic lash, people will often use a straight or a curved tweezer as they're picking up extension tweezer to place onto the natural lash. And then if you're doing a Russian volume fan, most people would use some kind of boot tweezer. So they've got like the flat bottom, they have a nice long grip, especially if you're doing like a mega volume or something like that. They've got a lot of space to pick up lots of lashes at once. So that would be standard, but it's also just very personal preference. I know lots of people that use all sorts of different things, and people that make Russian volume fans with straight tweezers, which blows my mind. I don't know how they do it. So everybody's different.
What do you use?
I use a curved tweezer for my isolating and for my classics, and I use a boot tweezer for my Russian volume fans.
I told you, she's a nerd. She loves her tech.
She's a tweezer nerd. Tweezers are important. They're the most important thing.
Okay, so we've got tweezers down. What would you say next?
Next is your glue, of course. You've got to stick them on somehow. So it's all great having the perfect tweezer, but if you have no proper good quality adhesive, then what's the point? So of course glue is just as important as your tweezers, really. And I would never give a recommendation for glue. I get asked that question all the time, but I would never give a recommendation because it really is very specific to your salon environment as to how well a glue is going to work. It's truly down to trial and error. And even for myself, I keep 2 to 3 different types of glue in my lash room at a time. So if it's warmer that day, if it's more humid that day, if the air is very dry, you actually need different types of glue. There is a lot of science behind adhesive, lash adhesive, how it works, and there's no chance we can go into all of that in one podcast episode. I feel like it's a course in itself.
But
probably.
if you are really interested in the science behind it, I think the person that I've listened to the most that's taught me the most has been Derek.
Derek is a glue nerd.
He is insane. He's
as
insane.
He calls himself.
Yes, he calls himself that. So we're not saying, hi, Derek, how you going?
From Lock Slash. Derek's from Lock Slash. He is a glue nerd and he knows everything about glue. I also know another fantastic retention course, but I'm going to have to do my old point to our producer Carol and hope that she's going to give me the information that we can refer back to later. We'll have a little pop-up on the screen or a disclaimer at the end because I cannot remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it is a very intensive and very interesting course about the science behind glue.
There you go. So there we've got tweezers, we've got glues.
And then there's all sorts of weird and wonderful things that you can add to your lash salon. Of course, you've got your basics. So we've got our under eye pads, very important for comfort and for holding the bottom lashes down out of your way. Various tapes. There's all sorts of different weird and wacky tapes and micro pore tapes and all sorts of things out there that you can use to help hold those lashes down, to help lift the eyelashes away from the bottom lashes while you're applying. And of course you need all your disposables, your disposable lash wands, your Q-tips and bits and pieces just to get through the service itself. So they're kind of a dime a dozen. I don't think that matters too much about where you're sourcing, say, your mascara wands or your micro pore tape, because you can grab that from a chemist or wherever it may be. But the iPads can be something that you want a little bit higher quality in, because you want them to stick, but you don't want them to be so sticky that when you're removing them, you're sort of hurting people's under eye skin. You want them to be thick enough to protect the under eye area from the tweezers as you place them through the lash. So that's something that you want to think
do a
about.
bit of research on.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we go to after the service.
Yes. Well, you tell us.
I can talk about that. That's
about
what I can talk about. So aftercare.
Yeah.
Make sure
important.
you have aftercare in your salon. So
what aftercare would you recommend?
Look, I don't like to do recommendations either, but Prolong Lash, just slightly. I know that you often talk about the aftercare and before care. Washing the lashes before you even start, and then washing the lashes after you start to take the residue off and anything that may be remaining once you finish the service. So having a retail area for me is something that I always am impressed by in a salon, and I think it doesn't matter how big the salon is, whether you buy the concentrate from Prolong Lash, dilute it yourself and turn it into your own label.
Which you are allowed to do.
It
is fit for purpose. That is what it's for.
That is what it's for. So then you can have your own colours on your own bottles in your salon, and that's a really extra bit of revenue for you as the customers finish the service, having the service done. Service sounds like a car tyre. It's like, I think it's the right word. Is that the right word, service?
Yeah, we just like get on one of those little roller beds and we like roll underneath the client, just check everything's all going.
So it's like an grease and oil change.
Beauty service.
Beauty service. Once the beauty service has been performed, you not only can wash the lashes while the client's still there, you can actually send the client home with either a sample of a small sample you've made up it's part of your service, or you can suggest they buy it, or you can suggest they come back if they run out of the small sample. So it's an extra, because you've been talking to them the whole time they're getting their lashes done about the importance of aftercare. So that's where I can talk about get your products. We've got some products. We've got like the foaming wash that's either made up for you, or the concentrate, which you can do it yourself, which is very entrepreneurial and there's really good margins in that for you. We have the eyeliner that's oil free and safe to use with lashes, and we have the hyaluronic acid, the hyaluronic serum, under eye serum,
safe eyelash extensions,
which we do have a lot of our partners. We have them using that at this point of the service. We have, particularly in the colder weather, we have a lot of the Canadians that have come up to us before and said that when it's cold, that putting the under eye serum at the end of the service just makes it feel really good for the client, and they walk out with a really nice feel on their face.
Yeah, that's right. Sam from Eyology. Yeah, I might have gotten the name wrong. I'm sorry, Sam. Yeah, she told us originally about the wonderful service she provides, and afterwards to give that sort of cooling, refreshing feeling after having those iPads on for a while. She pops the under eye serum and even uses one of those beautiful like marble rollers and just gently rolls it into that. Imagine how pampered your client would feel after that.
Because the lashes are uncomfortable. I'm going to say that from someone that's been to a very good lash artist sitting next to me here. But to actually having the lashes on is uncomfortable. It's not the nicest feeling for me. I don't enjoy
getting them done or just wearing.
To be wearing them, and even getting them done, it doesn't hurt. But at the end of it, I'm an eye rubber. But at the end, it's really nice when washing happens and the finishing touches. Like it
makes it feel clean,
and
refreshed. Yeah, I get that.
And you're playing with the eye area too, so you've got your eye want to blink all the time. And I know I'm not meant to blink. Anyway, I'm not
meant to blink.
I'm not
no blinking for you.
I'm not a really good lash user. A lash wearer. So that's aftercare.
And of course there's the lashes themselves, which come in all sorts of different variations. There's different curls, lengths, thicknesses. There is a million brand of lashes.
Now colours.
Yeah, so that's something you want to think about. What do you want to stock? How many different styles do you want to stock? And think about how you can vary your audience if you stock a bit more. So I had a client who was really obsessed with Prince, who loved everything purple. She loved Prince. She's the best. I loved her so much. And so I got purple lashes in just for her because she wanted purple lashes. And did that cause me any grief? No. It just made her so happy. I didn't even charge her extra. I just always had purple lashes there for her ready to go. And there's so many fun colors you can add. You can do browns if you're wanting to do neutral, if you're wanting to branch out into a more natural kind of a look, if you're wanting to even target a male audience. I did have a male customer back in my time. Brown lashes didn't exist when I did his lashes, but we used the finest lashes we could use so that they were a bit more subtle, and a clear glue so it didn't look like mascara so much. It just more looked like he had amazing lashes. So, you've got all these options. And then, of course, there's fun, really quirky, random lashes. Like ballet lashes are the new thing that I've seen around.
Ballet lashes.
I know. They're actually really crazy. So they're like crimped. Basically, like crimped little lashes. They look spidery.
It's very 80s.
Yeah, permas. And I think they would be a really fun, Halloween lash. I know that there are people out there that are willing to commit to these events, and have these lashes on for a couple of weeks. So they're fun. They're different. Something that you can offer to your clientele. If you have a more quirky clientele, make sure that you're giving them all these options. It doesn't cost you that much to buy a couple of trays of lashes and have them there ready for people.
Something different too for you to work with. Be exciting to work with something different, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Try something.
Yeah.
Try something new. And there is so many new things coming onto the market as well. Of course, there's UV lashes.
Oh, yes. Well, we've had exciting times with the UV lashes. You're very excited about them, aren't you?
Yeah, I actually love them. So I'm the newest advocate for UV lashes. And they're amazing because all that glue science kind of goes out the window. You don't have to worry about that humidity, temperature, all of that annoyance that comes with traditional lash adhesive. It sets with a UV light. It's kind of like a purple violet color, which is really fun. And then you set it with a light. The light I've been using is actually on your tweezer. There are floor lamp lights as well that you can opt for. And my understanding is that the risk of an irritation or reaction is much, much lower. The retention is much, much greater. I did one of my friend's lashes 6 weeks ago and they're still pretty full, which is incredible to me.
That's really good.
So I think UV lashes are worth taking into your salon and at least trying out, if not just getting rid of your other glue and just going full UV.
Do you have to do a course with the UV?
I think you should. I think whoever is the manufacturer of the particular light you're going to should be offering you training in how to use it, and I think that it's important that you take that training. So the first time I ever did UV lashes, sorry, I just tried them out because I'm curious. And not that I did anything particularly bad, but I found it really fiddly and difficult, and that's because I was using the type of light that sits on your tweezer, and I put it on the wrong tweezer. I put it on the, isolation tweezer instead of the lashing tweezer, and then I couldn't click the button without closing my tweezers. So I found it frustrating for the first time, but that would have been alleviated if I had read the information.
So UV, yes, that's the way of the future. What about some of the other things that are coming out now? Some of the new styles?
There's so many fun things. So in lashes, of course, there's UV, and then something that's big news in the lash world is PLA's Pro-Made 2.0 lashes. So Pro-Made lashes, for those out there, mean Russian volume lashes that are all already made for you. You don't have to pick it up, fan it yourself. It's already in that fan shape. But these new lashes have wrapping base technology. I don't know exactly what they're calling it, but basically the base is slightly open. So in a traditional Pro-Made, the base would just be snatched together and it would be like a little fan cluster. You dip it in the glue, you place it on, and kind of just hope that it stays on there, as well as, a classic lash or something like that. Whereas when you make a fan yourself, which is one of the big benefits of making your own Russian volume fans, is that when you pick it up, the base is not closed. So when you then dip it in the glue and put it on the lash, you can actually wrap the base of it around the natural lash, which just gives that much more retention and makes it hold on there so much better. So Pro-Mades have always been a bit like, they're not really as good as a handmade fan because you can't wrap and the retention is not as good. But PLA have come to the rescue and solved this problem. So they wrap. They're beautiful. Check out their Instagram page to see some of the videos of how it just sticks onto that lash. It's pretty amazing.
Clever. Very clever. They've got lots of new things coming out over there.
They do have lots of new
I know
things.
this is not on topic, so to speak, but I'm quite fascinated by these printed lashes. I know 3D printed lashes.
Those are, correct me if I'm wrong, DIY lashes.
Yes, yes, they are. So they're not extensions that you're going to a salon for, but yes,
doesn't mean it's something that you couldn't sell in your salon, in your retail area. I mean, lash extensions are not for everybody.
That's me. Definitely not for me. I'm hopeless with them. You can't.
But you're right. So they've got this amazing new technology that they're a 3D printed DIY lash, and as far as I can see, they've got some interesting technology that sort of help them grip a little bit better to the natural lash. And for those of us who have tried DIY lashes, of course I've tried DIY lashes and I made you try them too.
Yes, well that's all I'll wear because I don't like lash extensions.
She won't let me put lashes on it.
They hurt me.
You get irritated eyes, you get dry eyes. But yes, they are pretty cool. So I wouldn't mind trying them actually. I haven't gotten to try them yet, and I am a big fan of trying anything new. So
Michelle, Caitlin, whoever's watching this, listening to this, please send us some so we can try them. What else? Okay, so we've talked about the lashes a lot. What about the actual room setup when you're in the room? Some of the things that I've found fascinating is that the light that's shaped and it goes around like
a halo light.
Yeah. So what's going on in the lighting world? Yeah.
There are things going on in the lash lighting world, isn't it crazy? We're all about Glamcore a few years ago with the two sticks, and they bend over, and they were cool and pretty helpful. But if you're bending them too much, they started to get a bit brittle and break. And if you tip them too far, you might drop them in your client's face. It's a little bit dangerous.
Oopsie.
It's happened. But these halo lights just cup your client, so they're laying underneath it, and it just gives you a full sort of 180-degree lighting over your client. So I love them. I don't have one myself because I just don't lash enough to invest in that right now. I'm still like sticking with the old Glamcore over here, but yeah, they are very cool.
Are they expensive?
I don't know.
That's something else we should look at.
Yeah.
And see if we'll get our producer Carol onto that.
Producer Carol has so many jobs today.
I'd be interested to see if they were expensive.
Yeah.
If you think they're that much better, is it worth the investment or not? Maybe that's something.
Glamcore aren't cheap. So, no. So I think, that is, if you don't have a light to start with, I think maybe you're better off going for a halo light, because I think that overall lighting is much better for your eyes, easier to see. I always found with the Glamcore, I keep it on the left because my room's set up, so the left side of my client's very well lit up and the right side not so much, and then I'm turning the light and they're like, it's bright. So
that arch takes all that problem because it's around the face.
Yeah.
So it distributes light evenly.
Yeah.
There you go.
And something else, speaking of lighting, something else that I am in love with.
Oh, look, we're not talking about your husband today, right? So.
We never talk about him. No, that's okay. So when you have your lighting overhead like that, and you have all of your lash equipment on one side of your client, something that's really annoying is when you're lashing and your lash tile is just reflecting the light from above. So you can see the little lights in there, and you're looking down, there's light reflecting in your eyes. There are these amazing anti-glare lash tiles now, but they are really cool. I love them because it is better for your eyes. It's so much easier to see the lash, and I think just from like an occupational health and safety standard, it's a lot better for you to be using an anti-glare lash tile.
Oh, that's a win.
Yeah,
that's great. So I heard you talking the other day on the phone to someone about a lash pedal. What's a lash pedal? I wasn't eavesdropping. It was.
We have an open plan office.
Yeah, it's pretty hard not to hear you. You get very excited about new things. What's a lash pedal? Is it a new thing, or is it something that's been around for a while?
It's new-ish, and I actually love them. Okay, so a lash petal is a sponge, essentially. So back in the day, we used to practice on little, makeup sponges to do a set of lashes. A lash petal is a beautifully crafted, looks like a little petal. It's an eye-shaped foam sponge, and it allows you to practice and do an eye-shaped set of extensions. On there, you can actually do your mapping properly, and like I usually say, I don't do brand recommendations, but I will insist on this one because the person that invented these lash petals was the first to come up with them, and they've been copied left, right, and center, of course. And I do believe she's trademarked them. So if you're going to buy yourself a lash petal, please go to Lash Maven, Trina, and buy your lashes from her, because
your lash petal.
Yeah, sorry, your lash petal. Yeah, she doesn't sell lashes, so
yeah.
lash petal from her, because she created it, and they're really beautiful. I actually have tried some cheaper ones. I even got sent like some free sample cheap ones, and they're really hard to use, and they just fall over. The glue doesn't stick properly. She is a craftsman when it comes to all of her products, so it's really good quality foam, and they were designed to go with her lash mapping charts. So she's a lash mapping queen as well, so you can plan out your lash map and use these petals to practice on. And it doesn't matter how long you've been doing lashes, it doesn't matter if you're starting tomorrow or you've been doing it for 15 years, you still need to practice, especially if you want to try new things. If you want to try ballet lashes, if you want to try UV lashes, and you don't necessarily want to do it on a person and spend 3-4 hours, maybe you just want to spend 15 minutes practicing, get yourself a lash pedal because they're so cool.
I'm going to get one. I want one.
What are you going to do with yours?
I don't know. Look at it. Look at the beauty of it.
I'll bring you one.
Respect it what it does. I really want to see what it is.
Yeah, I'll bring it in for you.
Okay,
of course, I will.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So I think you've given some, well, as I said, it was all Alicia today, really. Some wonderful ideas for people out there. I've certainly learnt by sitting here in one room with you and listening. I've learnt more about the setting up and what you need today. I'm sure everyone else has too.
This is just Alicia getting excited about the new tech out there in the lash world episode.
It's good. So keep up. You really do. How do you find out all the information about what's going on?
I have, obviously, our Prolong Lash Instagram page is something that I closely monitor. So we follow all of our resellers, of course, and lots of people in the lash world on that page. So scrolling through and seeing what's going on, I find Insta is a wealth of knowledge. Of course, the Facebook groups as well. You'll have someone come up and say, "What's an angel lash?" And I go, "That's a great question. What is an angel lash?" Because,
what is an angel lash?
Gosh, I've only just worked it out. I kept seeing them. Now, my understanding is basically a wet lash. I can't work out how it's any different to a wet lash. I think it's the same. I think it's just a different name.
Maybe someone should get in
If
contact
I'm
with Alicia
wrong,
and tell her, please.
Please tell me,
Because she's losing sleep over it.
I haven't slept in a week. She's watching the Olympics and I'm just Googling angel lashes.
Angel
what is
lashes.
this?
Someone will know.
I think it's wet
Or do you think it's just a name?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Another thing for Carol.
yeah,
the
and then
producer.
there's fairy lashes too.
Fairy lashes.
And again, I'm
I
not.
think people just
I'm
make
not
names up now. I think everyone's just making names up. Serious.
Ah,
Keep it simple for me. I need to be kept simple. I suppose it's entertaining, and
Yeah.
it's also it's part of their own branding for themselves.
yeah, sure, it is. It is, and it is fun to learn something new. So, yeah, the lash groups keep me on my toes with the new stuff, and obviously just keeping an eye on Instagram, and I don't know, just keep on top of other podcasts and listen to anything I can that's lash related because I am a lash freak.
Nerd. Oh, freak. Okay, we'll go with that word, whichever one. Anyway, thanks for listening today, Alicia, and thanks for so much effort's gone into it. So much effort has to go into it, doesn't it, when you're setting up?
Yeah, absolutely. You need to set up right, make sure you're using good quality stuff. You know, if you want to retain clients, impress your clients, and do the best work that you can do, you need good quality and you need good options. So lots of options for glue. Don't restrict yourself to one glue. Lots of options for lashes. You know, choose your tweezers that you can refine and get a couple of pairs of them just in case you accidentally drop one on the floor. Please, no. And of course, just get involved with the new interesting bits and pieces that are out there. Give UV a try. Keep on practicing with your lash petals. Jodi's even going to be practicing with lash petals.
I'm gonna video myself
Yeah.
and put it on Instagram.
Oh, can I teach you how to do lashes?
Yeah,
We can do a video.
all right.
Oh, I think I have a mental breakdown, but it could be fun. And then, of course, ergonomically set up your salon. So good lighting, as you're talking about. Get yourself a nice halo light. Get a good stool, a good recliner, a good lash trolley, and all of the things that are going to make your life easy, comfortable. You're sitting there for a long time all day. It is hard on your body to do lashes, and it's not comfortable for your client to be laying on a $50 massage table from Amazon. Please buy something good quality
And get a good osteo or physio, and keep your back in good shape.
Yeah, do your Pilates, do your
Do
stretches. We
Pilates.
have a great blog on ergonomics and stretches for lash artists who we interviewed Gabby, who is a osteopath and Pilates instructor, and she's given us some great information on stretches. So check that out if you want to get into the ergonomic side as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today. Always make sure to jump onto our Instagram page if you want to see all the weird and wonderful new things out there
exactly.
we're talking about. So jump on our Insta, our Facebook page, and our TikTok. And of course, we have our Aussie Lash Wives podcast that you can jump onto and take us around wherever you go, talking in your ear about all sorts of things lash business related. If you want to buy Prolong Lash, of course, you can jump onto www.prolonglash.com and .au for Australia. And please give us a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, comment below. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. See you later.